Admonitions for Descendants. The love and compassion one has for their descendants align with the principles of the natural order and are inherited through the bloodline. Thus, among human relationships, this is the deepest affection, surpassing all others. However, if after my passing, the heir to the household indulges in reckless behavior and debauchery, the family will perish, and their life will be ruined. If a father, out of deep affection for his children, neglects to instruct and admonish them, and they fall into misconduct, it is ultimately the father's fault. A samurai, by nature, values courage as a mark of a true man. Therefore, regardless of wealth and status, he must not look down upon others but should uphold righteousness. Even in poverty and lowly circumstances, he must not let his aspirations become base. His conduct must be upright, unafraid of petty individuals, and unwavering in his courage. Thus, if one is to devote sincere love and kindness to their descendants with the aspirations of a true man, strict instruction and discipline are necessary. However, if one merely thinks strictness is inconvenient, and simply dotes on their children without properly nurturing them, it is nothing but a shallow, indulgent form of kindness, akin to that of an old woman. This is not the mindset of a respectable man. Such an approach would instead bring misfortune upon one's descendants. A samurai must instruct and admonish his descendants with integrity and courage. Failing to do so means he cannot be called a true man of virtue and righteousness. 1. In childhood, a person's temperament is purely natural, and they grow according to their innate tendencies. Consequently, they are incapable of distinguishing between good and evil, lacking a guiding principle within themselves and being easily influenced by external circumstances. As they grow, their knowledge expands, and they begin to discern right from wrong, making it essential to guide them with great care. What a child first sees and hears leaves a deep impression and becomes habitual, often lasting a lifetime. Therefore, from an early age, they must be taught to be cautious and disciplined. If boys and girls are raised without discipline and are allowed to act freely, they will become arrogant and neglect their family duties as they grow older. Furthermore, if they are not properly taught in their youth, they will develop bad habits and grow careless in their actions. This will lead to disobedience towards their parents and reckless behavior. Eventually, they will ignore the advice of others, violate the principles of nature, and ultimately be cast away by society. To love a child but fail to teach them is to foster arrogance in them. Such a father is unkind and lacking in true parental compassion. 2. To instruct and admonish the descendants of a samurai, one must first guide their wisdom correctly, cultivate a courageous spirit, and ensure that all their actions are conducted with sincerity. As children grow and gain knowledge, they must be taught to discern between good and evil, to reject the wicked, and to uphold the righteous. They must never exhibit cowardice or servility. Instead, they should cultivate bravery and never tolerate even the slightest falsehood or deceit. In play, they should engage in activities such as archery and stilts, ensuring that all their pastimes adhere to samurai customs. Their language and etiquette must also conform to the traditions of the warrior class. While their youthful energy is still abundant, they should first be taught academic studies and be made to recite the sayings of sages. This has been the correct approach since ancient times. As stated in the Analects, even if one favors benevolence, wisdom, trustworthiness, integrity, courage, or strength, without a love for learning, they will develop faults. Therefore, First and foremost, academic study is essential. However, excessive enjoyment of poetry and literary compositions to the point of disregarding the customs of our land, adopting foreign manners of speech, dress, and rituals from the Han people, is a dangerous mistake. Excessive attachment to anything can lead to a loss of purpose. Even an obsession with books can lead one astray. Thus, those devoted to the way of the warrior must also be mindful of this principle. Likewise, those who wear short sleeves, swagger with flared elbows, recklessly brandish swords, and deliberately seek conflict are nothing more than impulsive fools. This is a grave mistake. Therefore, one must maintain a balanced demeanor and exercise caution in all matters. 3. Each person has a unique disposition. Thus, it is important to consider the nature of their temperament, whether light or heavy, pure or impure, and provide education suited to their character. Once they reach the stage where they can grasp language and reason, they should carefully choose their teachers and select their friends with great caution, avoiding association with individuals of low character. The relationship between teacher and student must be approached with the utmost respect. If one neglects their training and fails to apply themselves sincerely, no amount of instruction will be beneficial. Classic texts and martial arts manuscripts must not be placed in unclean places. This is not merely about respecting books, it is about honoring the way. When opening a book to read, one should wash their hands, rinse their mouth, and approach it with a pure heart. Furthermore, a teacher must be respected in the same manner as one respects a father or elder brother. A teacher is someone who guides, imparts morality, and clarifies the 5 relationships: ruler and subject, father and son, husband and wife, elder and younger siblings, and friends. Their kindness is immeasurable and must never be taken lightly. Especially for a samurai, to disregard military strategy or martial arts is to fail as a true warrior. 4. Regarding the education of girls, particular care must be taken. In general, society tends to emphasize softness and weakness in the education of girls, but this is a serious mistake. A woman born into a samurai family and married to a warrior must manage the household in her husband's absence, as he is often in service to his lord. She must not be raised with mere softness and fragility. Traditionally, it has been said, a man does not speak much inside the home, and a woman does not speak outside the home. Houses are designed to separate the inner and outer domains, emphasizing this principle. Even in an affectionate marriage, men and women must observe propriety by keeping their belongings separate. This strict observance of gender roles is essential. Furthermore, a wife must serve her in-laws with devotion and uphold the way of womanly virtue. Even in foreign lands, during the Han and Tang dynasties, there were women who upheld virtue and chose death rather than dishonor. In our own country, the wives of warriors and heroes have remained steadfast, undeterred by the changing tides of fortune, maintaining their resolve even in the face of adversaries and bandits. Their moral integrity and noble spirit are not the result of a weak and indulgent education. By nature, women govern the yin principle. Their bodies are soft, and their hearts are obedient. This is their innate disposition. However, they must also possess firm resolve and sound judgment. Women must never indulge in depraved pleasures, nor should they immerse themselves in novels filled with licentiousness, unlawful romances, or excessive sentimentality. Instead, They must be taught the path of righteousness and the true duty of a warrior's wife. Only then will the marital bond be proper, and the moral order of society be maintained. Samurai Primer. End.